Welcome back, friends, to Occultists Anonymous, sponsored by Roll20, The Onyx Path, and viewers like you. Thank you to our patrons. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to everybody who just joins in with us. It really does mean a lot. I'm going to say that probably every time, because we really mean it. We do have our little private chat, and we squeal and laugh when we see people ask interesting questions or ask questions about, who's this Beck character? I really like Beck. It's like, come here, friends.
Yeah, we do
come
too.
Here. Yep.
Yeah, she's great, right?
Who was the precious baby that was like, oh God, can you imagine Jimmy Smalls as a sleepwalker the other night?
Yeah,
I was like, oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Could you imagine?
I had to dive on that grenade because somebody almost accidentally was like, oh yeah, it's cool that it's good that they awakened as a Mastigos instead. I was like, no, hang on. You can't know that yet. We can put that in the other chats.
Oh, me.
So that said, yeah, if you're listening to this on YouTube and you're a couple episodes behind the newest ones and you're wondering what's going on, don't worry. We are here to protect you from spoilers. Quite a few members of our crew, our cabal and Discord community, are watching and are happy to point out, hey, that's a spoiler. Could you put the little tags? It's very, very nice, and you are safe and welcome in our Discord. Sorry, going back to all the cool people that support us. Oh, what?
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say thank you to everyone for being so cool about it and being even overly eager to put things in spoiler text.
It's like, yeah, we can talk about the gun that's on the wall, guys, in the adamantine arrow armory.
In episode 2, yeah.
Right, yeah.
A mage with the shadow name of Chekhov would be fucking excellent.
And you cannot give him forces, and you cannot. Things just happen to be there. Yeah. So shout outs to our patrons: Alan, Michael, Alex, Alexander, Algos, Badur, Bernie, Blood Angel, Brandon, Carson, Christian, Danny, Doc, Emil, Giovanni, Jack, James, Jenny, John, Josh, Julian, Cat Feathers, Mathematical. Does this continue, Noctal? No, it's just mathematical. Okay. Melissa, Michael, Boku, Noba, One True Michael, Perry, Puppeteer, Ramon, Roivasgrad, Ryan, Schmitty, Sebastian, Sinna, Stefan, Serenus, Terry, The Banty, Thomas, Usif Sama, Firekeeper, and Zoltan. Thank you guys and gals for supporting us and joining us. Yes, viewers like you. Yes, that's you. Yes, exactly. Viewers. Yeah, okay, sorry. Twitch chat. The caffeine has definitely kicked in. When we last left, damn, just called out.
Got him.
The Cabal had, under Songbird's very odd suggestion of, hey, why don't we do some research first? Summoned forth some politics skill with magic and said, all right, let's politic this up. And so got some information about what they're walking into in Seattle, some good information about graves, and are basically at that point after a couple days of research going, are we ready to do this, or are we going to do this? And I don't know. On you guys.
That's books and tickets.
Not quite. I do want to investigate that weird dream I had to see if I can pick anything up from that. And I did also remember that we do know someone who has dealt personally with graves. Don't know how willing she'll be to talk to us, but we could try. Or at least I'm in a decent position to try.
And Songbird never met her.
That's true.
So Songbird was being the reasonable adult and stayed home while Mammon and Atratus and Weird went off and had a terrible idea of, let's go scout this place out ahead of time. Yep. Man, that was sub 30. That was 90 episodes ago. Possibly 100 episodes ago. Oh God, we're so old. What have we done? Okay. So how do you want to get in contact with Julia? Because I can think of at least 2 paths to do it. There's probably more.
I don't have a number for her. I was going to talk to Tassos because they're both Dracul, and he knows her. Like he's mentioned her before, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because you guys asked about, do you know Julia? And it's like, we don't have her number, and Weird goes, yes, we do.
Well,
we
don't
have
need
a
her
number.
But no, I'm going to talk to Tassos rather than just like randomly dial her up because I feel like going through another vampire who I'm on speaking terms with might help. Might get her more willing to talk to me than just like a phone call out of the blue.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. So, give me just a flat presence plus persuasion -3.
Thanks, 3.
Yep. And this is you chatting with Tassos, being like, "Hey, listen, we need to talk to Julia."
I will use a willpower and put it at 0.
And remember, like we said, it's been a couple days, so you guys have recouped some willpower from when you guys did those rolls. Cool.
One success.
Yeah. And with that, yeah, it's a back and forth conversation. Why? I mean, do you really need to talk to her? And it definitely sounds like he knows her because Order Dracul, but isn't necessarily super buddy-buddy.
Not like friends.
Right. Kind of the downside of being a Nosferatu.
Other people are just really prejudiced assholes, right?
It's also because it's literally their ban.
They're just unsettling, yeah.
They're unsettling, and if I remember correctly, like they only get a success on a social rule with an exceptional success, effectively. Everything is shifted down one for them. Though I can't remember if that applies to other vampires. Anyways, but yeah, so there's a little back and forth of really, okay, I guess. All right. And so he basically arranges for a meeting between Julia and Atratus. Well, like I said, the meeting is set. Now, you guys show up as, backup, and let's be honest, Weird is backup wherever she is, as long as she, gives some kind of warning. But yeah. And of course, Atratus has backup in, Gabe. Oh yeah, he can start fire, which is very good. Yeah, so
he can set her on fire.
Hot tip: vampires don't like that. Yeah, basically arranges a meeting, but it's kind of up to you of where you want to meet her. And of course, she is not Nosferatu, so she's willing to meet out in a more public environment, obviously after dark.
Yeah, public place.
Park.
Like a
nightclub.
I was thinking like a bar, yeah.
Sure.
We'll go to have a chat.
And so, yeah, we jump to appropriate bar, kind of more quiet, bar and not a, hip, vampire nightclub, because Atratus is not dumb. Some rules.
I've probably definitely gone to those, though.
It's a different thing when it's like you and Shanna going, and possibly, I don't know, Songbird's over there, and it's like, but I guarantee it's like, all right, are we clubbing? Are we going vampire clubbing? Cool, spells on. And then we go out.
Which bat do I take?
Right. Yeah. So,
they run nice clubs.
They do. But you meet up at a non-vampire bar, quiet, chill place. Well, as chill as a bar necessarily is in New York, I guess there are probably definitely some
There's lots
lounge.
Of quiet spots.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's true.
In the world where Blacktail still exists.
Oh, sad. Would not describe that place as chill, but
it was very low-key when we went. It was just like fishy chairs around tables and people hanging out.
But yes, Julia Khan, who I surprisingly don't have the description for, but late 20s, Asian American woman, and probably yeah, for this kind of meeting, probably not like business suit, but very kind of business casual, slacks and stuff like that. She's giving off the like just got off of the day job kind of vibe. Hair in a bun, like you can definitely see she's flirting with the like sexy librarian, wait for her to pull the hair, kind of thing. But she's mech-ette, so she's not like the seductive diva or something like that. But looks over and spots you, like obviously without like turning around, or rather she does turn around as you enter. Like knew you were coming kind of thing. It is definitely one of those, well, let's be honest, if you weren't a mage, it would be a little unsettling, but for you just feel a little bit of your peripheral mage sight going off, as there's definitely something in the air as she kind of turns around and smiles at you, and then just get the little wave and points over to a bar stool next to her, and then kind of gives you the oar and points over towards like, a booth.
Probably a booth, it seems.
Sure.
I want this conversation to be relatively private, but in a public place.
Sure. And so, yeah, she meets you, well, not meets you halfway, but, joins you at the booth and looks at you and says, Atratus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
It's been a while.
Yes. No, it has. Though you left a mark, and you threatened me and or attempted to seduce me, saying I'm a necromancer, and I'm still unresolved about that. It haunts me. Like, where were you going with that? Oh, never mind. We can talk about old times. Let's talk about the important stuff first. Did you let Tassos basically forward the message that it's about Mr. Graves, or was it just we need to talk about stuff?
I would have said it was about Graves.
Okay, yeah.
Try to get her information as to why you should talk to me.
Right. She kind of leans forward and like, so let's talk about that asshole.
We're gonna kill him. And you help give us any information that might help us kill him?
Okay, sort of. Kind of, sometimes. It's not like I know, Meiji secret weaknesses or anything like that, but I mean, I kind of know a little bit of how he operated when he was here, but now he's fucked off to who knows where, so I might have some dated information.
Anything might help. We're just trying to get as much as we can to be as prepared as we can be, because what we've gathered is that he might be a little scary to fight, but yeah, we want to be as prepared as possible.
Okay. So let me think here. Just the big brain dump. So half of his stuff he does with that little woman, Cynthia. That is...
She's dead. No longer in the picture.
Okay. And we're actually going to need to come back to that whole Mr. Graves dying thing, because I still haven't had an opportunity to cut open a mage. Just putting it out there, if you're not doing anything with them after, I wouldn't mind, is all I'm saying.
That's a whole other level.
That's... Yeah, I don't know about that.
So, okay.
I'm gonna run that by my cabal.
That's fine. I'm just putting it out there. If just suddenly, a body shows up at my doorstep, I'll clean it up, you know? So
like already dead?
I mean, I would prefer him alive, but he's also a dangerous motherfucker, so...
Just so you know, if I had a connection, I could, like, deliver the body to her if I had something to connect to it.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, I mean, we could probably get you the body. I don't know about giving you a live mage to cut open, but we'll discuss things.
Live mages are scary and dangerous, and the only reason I was going to get hold of you was, because he was going to render you all inert or something. So not sure how that works. That was going to be a thing I was going to find out, or wanted to. And like the smile has the fangs showing and everything. Yeah. Like she's more than happy to remind you that, yeah, I still wanted to eat you and cut you up. So Cynthia's out of the picture. Well, he doesn't like doing anything face to face if he can avoid it. He's going to send intermediaries. He's going to have message deliverers or anything like that. I have seen him face to face once the entire time he was in New York. And I worked with him back and forth for like, we'll say 50 years. Well, no, hang on.
Oh.
Nope.
Wait, how old is he?
Yeah, no, 30 years. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's like a long time because I'm thinking vampire. But no, Graves is, about 30 years. And I met him once. And that was early on. He kind of established the whole relationship and then thereafter just sent intermediaries and messages or came and talked to me in like meat puppets, people puppets.
He did that to us too.
That was a favorite trick of his, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a favorite vampire trick too, but it's weird when you all do it.
Very loud.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I feel like if that's what we can know about him,
if you've got questions to help jog my memory here, I'm more than happy to answer them. But like I said, it's not like I knew him at a personal buddy level or anything. I will mention.
What?
Go ahead.
What are you saying?
Okay. I will mention that he's what's the opposite of frugal with the lives of his co-conspirators? So Cynthia is the only one. Cynthia is the only one I know of that he, kept around for any long period of time. I think the two of them were a thing. You're welcome. See, we do talk about sex on this show.
Yeah, so things we know. What magic did you see him really do? We know he's good at space teleportation and such. We know he's good at forces was the other one. Yeah. So like elemental magic, right? We also know he's good at a couple of other things, but we don't know what those are. So much else.
I really like this. I'm trying to think of what magics he might have done that would give you a clue as to what abilities he has.
That'd be obvious enough.
Yeah, what you would have seen.
Okay, actually, yeah, So he never made the whole "I'm a necromancer" flirt that you did, but he did at one point kind of try to do the whole established dominance thing and kind of like marionetted me around a room, which was disconcerting because I'm usually the one that does the marionetting. In
the way of your brain is still working just fine, but your body's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not cool. And then I've also seen him like melt doors and walls and when he was new, I guess he really liked making some flashy entrances.
Okay, that helps a lot, actually.
Ask her what she means by melt.
Yeah, like literally turn a wall into liquid.
Oh yeah, the whole like, and it sloughs away. Very Salvador Dali.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that helps a lot, actually.
Really? Okay.
I can do that too.
Aren't you full of tricks, Miss Necromancer?
The wall melting and the death kind of go together.
It's one flavor of mage.
Yeah, that's one mage subtype. We do those. You can do other things too, as you've seen. He knows other things as well. So
sure, it's just I don't get.
But you come with those too.
I don't. Okay, sure, whatever. Mages are dumb.
She's not.
Yeah, I honestly don't get that one either, but it is what it is. So
Ash doesn't get it. Atratus does.
It's
but I'm trying to think if those are the only two like major things that she was seeing. And it doesn't help you any, but she mentions that she's seen him fly.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's handy, actually. Thank you.
Flying and lightning bolts are the same.
Flying and lightning bolts are the same, yeah.
Chat trying to fuck that.
Yep.
Cool. Anything else you chat with her about, ask her about?
I mean, just on a personal level, I'm interested in what the on a personal level I'm interested
Raising.
And
she
what
already can't tell if you're flirting or threatening. I'm interested.
And what the Order Dracul has been learning, I guess. Like
and she's pretty straightforward because Order Dracul is not nearly as organized the way the Mysterium is, in that they all work on their own special projects. And so Tassos is trying to basically bypass a lot of the weaknesses of being a vampire, staying up during daylight hours, fire and stuff like that, which is specifically, he didn't realize it at the time, but the whole like resistance to fires, and now he has an Obrimos blood is very intriguing. But no, she Julia is interested in the connections and bonds one makes using blood. Notably, they're not here, but her dogs. Right. And she
are they ghoul puppies?
They're ghoul puppies.
Ghoul dogs. That's cool.
Want, give. Yeah. They'll live for a normal human lifespan.
If I remember correctly, way longer. Because like even even human ghouls can technically live for forever if they're kept topped up, or nearly so. That's her thing, and she admits, it's a delicate subject, because obviously having control over blood bonds to, my good boys is one thing, but when people start to realize how much control I have over my blood bonds to, other people, and, when she says people, she's clearly not meaning humans.
Yeah.
They get a little funny.
That's interesting. Yeah, so
yes,
we were just
but
like
not Noctol.
chat. Just chat about that for a bit. I don't imagine she'll give me many details about. But we're just like, hi, I'm interested in your vampire science. What do you do? And
yeah, and very similar to most any scientist, professor, mage. You want to talk about my obsessions, my study? Sure, but she gives you very broad, vague stuff. But yeah, it definitely sounds like she gets involved in blood bonds and strengthening them and weakening them and spreading them. And for those who are,
if you're talking, it's not coming through.
I got him just fine. I had him just fine.
No, I thought you were saying something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, for those who are being meta at home and want to go look stuff up, go look up the ritual where Ordo Dracul basically spends all their mana, all their vitae and like a bunch of other vitae, and they just fill a pool worth of vitae and blood and humans, and then just raises them all as vampires all at once.
Oh.
Yeah, that's her.
I was loving that sentence until the conclusion.
Yeah. Well,
the collective embrace.
It's a huge embrace, and it's absolutely terrific. Yeah, we're going very meta. Game is on pause here. You raise them all up. They all have immediate hunger and basically fight it out and try and feed on each other. And so it's like, yeah, you'll raise like 100 of them, and you get to keep like 30 of them. But it literally, the text of the book literally says you basically start the ritual, complete it, embrace them all, and then bug out of the room. Because it's going to be a massacre. And it's just one of the most ridiculous, over-the-top things that shows up in that entire book. It's just like...
Good morning, my pets, and this massive iron door closes.
Yeah, and especially when you talk about the fact that the masquerade is like, you have to have permission to embrace even one other vampire. And then there's this ritual for... So do you need 30 new friends? It's not great. So yes, that's her thing.
Cool.
She does not mention the mass embrace ritual because that's a good way to get in trouble. Yep. Cool.
All right.
So you guys, chat into probably only an hour or so, because she's like, hey, I do need to go feed, and I don't think you're willing. So cool. So she,
I bet you there's a little part of her that is.
That sounds like a flirt from Julia.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's probably something I would try, but I don't know about with this one who has admitted wanting to kill me. I'd want some boundaries in place first.
Would that be like
need a safe word?
A thwart? A thwart or a flet? Or a flet?
I mean, I do have a curiosity vice.
Fucking do it.
It might be a fun experience.
Go for it.
I mean, what would that do?
Well, I mean,
in character right now.
You in character, I will let you roll intellect plus occult -3. To be like, okay, hang on here.
Because again, this does feed very much into this vice of like,
it does.
Well, that is -3. One success.
So if she is careful and isn't like super gung-ho about it, it'll just do a little bit of lethal damage and you'll be okay. But if she doesn't hold back, she can do a lot more damage and potentially kill you. Now, obviously, it is in her best interest to not fucking kill a mage that everybody knows is meeting with her. But yeah. Let me go ahead and pull up the book and double check. Because I can't remember if it also drains a point of willpower.
Take a trip and learn how death and melting walls are the same.
Honestly, yeah, that's sure.
And so Julia's, I think Julia's
like, you all know where I am. That weird is like connected to me. Like, don't kill me, but okay.
And Julia goes from like getting up from the booth to sitting back down and going, "Excuse me, what?"
I mean, sure.
It's like when you hit on somebody as a dare and they say, "Sure."
All right. Well, let's see here. Feeding.
Literally approaching this from the view of, I'll try anything once. Don't kill me.
All right. Let's see here. When feeding non-violently,
everybody has to take a turn on the bad decision train.
I'm going to take my willpower point back. Regain.
Yes, you do. Okay, so she like kind of looks across and she's like, "Okay, hang on. Are you serious?"
Yeah, don't kill me.
But are you going to scrutinize it while it's happening?
Can I?
I mean, sure.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So she.
This is a new experience that I'm curious about. Sure.
So, I'm because I was not ready for this. So if things get weird, please, everybody, just give me a like, okay, and we can pause it there. But she kind of reaches over and touches your hand, and she goes, "Okay, I mean, the bathroom is right there."
Sure.
Okay. So yes,
you're not going to take her someplace nice like an alley.
So yeah, she grabs her hand, like she literally is like giddy schoolgirl, like, "Oh my god, we're doing this!" And the two of you zip off to the bathroom.
Fine, girls go to the bathroom together all the time. They're probably just friends.
Right. One of them is merely skipping like a schoolgirl. Actually,
and
are both of them?
All like
both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
But yeah, she's about to have a trip.
Yep. Because I have some reference material here for both. So yes. Making sure I'm looking at this. So yeah. They go into the bathroom. It is an enjoyable experience. It is very distracting. But if you want to scrutinize, you can. You're just going to have some penalties because when it's the assault kiss, it is just a violent attack. The more subtle thing is, exciting. Yeah, you also get the swooning condition.
Okay.
And this is why the scrutiny is going to be here. But I'm going to read this verbatim just so everybody knows what is happening. Your character is attracted to someone and is vulnerable where they are concerned. He may have proverbial butterflies in his stomach or just be constantly aware of the object of his affection. A character may have multiple instances of this condition reflecting affection for multiple characters. He suffers a -2 die penalty to any rolls that would adversely affect the specified character. That's not actually affecting you for the scrutiny. Who also gains a +2 bonus on any social rolls against Atratus in this particular case. If the specified character is attempting social maneuvering on the swooning character, the impression level is considered 1 higher. So if we're not doing door stuff to you guys for this particular chronicle, but it would, potentially be able to do like knock through doors like in hours instead of days. And then resolution, your character does something for his love interest that puts him in danger, or he opts to fail a test to resist a social action by the specified character. So this is something that may just eventually go away.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably not a permanent thing from the vampires, at least. But while this is happening, you're a little out of it.
Correct. And then I have to double check 0. So you will lose 1 lethal point of damage. And then
she is able to stop it.
Actually, I take that back. If you want to keep the swooning thing, we can keep it in, but actually she has to spend a point of willpower to do so, and she doesn't actually realize it. Okay. So it is an enjoyable experience. To quote, it is a enticing and invigorating sensation that distracts the victim, and that's where your -2 for scrutiny comes in. But yes, if you would like to scrutinize while you take that 1 point of lethal damage,
okay. So that will be.
Are you using death?
Gnosis and death.
Yeah, if you want to use that, this is pretty detailed. Like, we'll use the term intimate kind of stuff. This is opacity of 4, as you are watching like this very base level foundational thing of vampire.
So it's -2.
Sorry, 1 second here. That is allowed. Sorry, fixing up Autobot. Yes, -2 on your roll.
Okay. Gnosis and death.
Yeah. Chat, go to horny jail.
Okay, I got 3.
Okay.
How many rolls did I get?
9.
I always forget. 9. Okay.
Okay, so that's your 4th door. So down to 3 per opacity. All right, down to the 2nd door, or opacity. Why do I keep saying doors? Okay.
I can't get any of these in one. Oh my god.
Okay, and then...
Okay, so we're down to 1.
Yep.
How many rolls was this? This was...
Nowhere near 9.
Yeah, nowhere near 9. The 3 was the start of it. It's 5.
Yep, you're at 6.
-2.
And then last one to reveal.
Reveal. Okay.
Hooray.
Next Chronicle.
What did I learn?
Definitely better news. So obviously Arcane Beat, actually 2 Arcane Beats, we'll tally those up.
Nice.
Yeah, for those of you who are curious, we are still using group beats. We just do them all together at the very end of the session. Don't worry about it. But Chris is also probably writing it down because Chris is our notator of stuff. But yes, it is
I'm the secretary.
It is tied to the Death Arcana. What a surprise! It is neither abyssal nor supernal. It is just a fact of existence, which is kind of odd. Like, this is something that was possibly even around when, like, Atlantis was around, before the fall, is just a natural thing, which is a odd aspect. Otherwise, it's you learn all this stuff that you would normally expect to learn about a vampire bite. They feed from it. It does damage to you. It's doesn't have a nimbus. It's not tied to anybody's supernal anything. Describe it, Drew. No, sorry guys, there's a bite. It's probably on the neck.
It felt real nice. Okay. Well,
if any of you need more, go find some fanfic. All right. Please do not make fanfic of my character.
Why did you just unleash the hordes?
Okay, moving
Now
right
it
on.
has to be a
guarantee you
fanfic channel. Here we go.
someone has written this somewhere.
Yeah.
If you care. But yeah, okay.
Rule 34.
Beats.
There's probably a video about it, but
Probably. And that said, she kind of draws back, kind of, wipes a little bit of blood that's there, and she's like grinning at you, and then kind of her face kind of falls, and she realizes,
you probably don't want to look at mirrors. Just gonna turn her away from the mirror.
Yeah, and like she is kind of looking around with this slightly dazed, glazed over expression. Are you seeing this? And
this is the melting doors and the dead things being the same. This is it.
you should take her to a graveyard. You should take her to a graveyard.
Oh, dude, she's Ordo Dracul. Trust me, she's going to be doing all her own investigations. And no, mirrors are not a thing for vampires.
No, I mean that if she sees it herself, she's going to see a corpse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, and she is having a time just looking around, and just you can definitely see she's focusing very heavily on objects at first, and then is kind of looking at you and recognizing because Death Sight says, "Hey, you're alive and have a soul," and looks in the mirror and sees that, "Oh, I'm dead," and it does not faze her. Well, actually, I take that back. She probably makes a breaking point, a humanity roll.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm I feel like that's probably gonna be jarring to see, because you're alive, right? You're a vampire, but you're alive, and then you see a corpse.
Confirmation and understanding that you definitely do not have a soul, and that
you are
that
definitely a
does.
soulless corpse.
Yeah. And as Chad is
also, where's Gabe?
I imagine Gabe is
oh yeah, she sees Gabe
hovering. Oh God, yes, she will see Gabe, and Gabe is I think Gabe is doing the I'm in a woman's bathroom kind of thing of kind of shielding his eyes around, and is watching you and her, and kind of standing, and she kind of looks up at him and kind of reaches her hand through him. Oh.
This is Gabe. This is my familiar. He's a ghost.
That works for me. Yeah. Looking down at yeah. Okay. And just having a moment and going, are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Cool. Just in this total enlightened drug haze, just kind of floats her way through the through the bar and back out into the streets, and is gonna have a night. And Gabe is totally okay. And yes, Gabe, yeah, okay, let's not be weird, but yes, Gabe did watch.
Horny jail, all of you.
Yeah. Gabe is literally standing there with ready to set the bitch on fire. Okay, everybody's cool. Everybody's cool. All right. Because you do not set my mage into you don't drain my mage. It's just not happening. So, but yeah, you take that 1 point of lethal damage, which is not resistant, so magic can fix it up later. And yeah,
it'll be fine.
So that was a
Arcane
thing.
beats.
Yes,
Yeah.
Arcane beats for sure. And you recovered your willpower from your hasty vice. Cool. So
I never get to use
Curiosity
that.
vice.
Curious vice.
Yep. Anything else you guys are
Writing down
doing
this
tonight?
arcane beat under new experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, her experience giving blood to a vampire was considerably more enjoyable than Songbirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you need orange juice in
Yeah.
a cookie. Yep. Okay. So anything else tonight, Cabal, or do we roll into the next day?
Done for the evening. Yeah, go home.
Cool.
Tell the others what I've learned about graves, at least. Just cool, we've got death and matter.
Yeah.
Probably the other two adept level ones.
We talked to him when he was using a meat puppet, but he couldn't do that himself, right? He relied on Cynthia for that.
You don't know?
We don't know that.
Can I have an out of character clarification of maybe what Julia meant a little bit by the marionetting?
Death magic.
Okay.
Similar to
that's how I interpreted it, but I wasn't sure if you just gave us like a huge clue that no, he actually has mind.
No, that's why I asked specifically about her mental state while it was happening. Which is that, like, she's mentally all there and her body's being moved against her will.
Correct. Yeah, Julia may have described it, in fact, as being locked in her own head.
But when he made a meat puppet out of that girl, that wasn't death. Because she had no memory of it happening or anything.
That's my magic.
Yeah, that was Cynthia.
Yeah.
Just
confirming.
I mean, it's
now
widely believed he's bad at mind and that he had a friend doing that for him.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another thing that I'm going to give you pretty flat out is seers have access to lots of magic items. And one of the most common is called the profane urim. It's, they're often described and look like priestly robes, but they can use that to gain possession of anybody, any sleeper that they have a weak connection to. It is one of their biggest shields of, being able to manipulate people and make people go do things that are just completely out of their character, and then they have to deal with the consequences. Or in, your guys' case, hijacked a teen and had her come to a meeting with you guys and, threw you guys way off your game. To which Songbird goes, "Nobody pay attention to this shit." Still one of my favorite scenes in the entire game.
Broke lots of brains that night.
Yep. All right, chat, calm down.
Off to horny Joe with all of you.
All of you. All right, cool. But yes, updating everybody on, Death and Matter probably, somewhere in his wheelhouse, at least for Death and Matter both. You can probably surmise, especially the Matter part, like, oh yeah, I can do that, and then Songbird can do that, and that's, Matter 3 kind of territory, so.
Yeah. And controlling a corpse. For right now, I'm good. Let's see.
All right, with the rest of the episode, I'd like to go fuck a werewolf, please.
Again, there's all sorts of stuff that happens off screen.
Oh my gosh. What an episode.
We have another
not where
half
I planned
hour.
to go with that, but yeah, not where I planned for that to go, but I'm glad it did. Yeah, I still have my other aspiration, which was to look at the creepy figure in my dreams, but also I don't want to take the whole episode doing things.
No, that's fine.
You
can just yank it. You can just yank that figure out of your head and.
That's true. I was going to also see if
be kind of like a Star Trek holodeck episode, right, where they're recreating a mystery scene.
Or if I could take you in with me, but yeah, it'd probably be easier to pull it out.
I mean, if you pull it out, you have Songbird.
Yeah.
I mean, technically you can take Songbird in too, but outside, Songbird has a domain.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see if I can just sort of... That would be...
Goetic summons.
Goetic summons to summon up your own memories?
Yes, you would summon the specific Goetia of that memory. Okay. Because, the difference is in the Oneros, you can go and experience your memories. Mm-hmm. And that is the Goetia, and you're interacting with that Goetia, and that Goetia happens to appear as a living room, effectively. Inside Oneros and out in the Temenos, Goche do not necessarily need to look like people. But outside, you can summon things up, and you don't know what it'll look like.
I'm going to materialize it though, so we can interact with it.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I can summon Goche from my own Oneros.
Mm-hmm. As long as you are in some place that you can enter which is your domain. That's the easy one. YouTube guys, if you're wondering what Chris is shaking his head about, it's just Twitch chat. You're not missing anything.
Nothing of value has been missed.
Now you may have to increase a potency. I can't remember, or is it? Well, actually, since you have it up, is it?
It's a duration spell. Withstand his rank. Yeah. What is the rank of my own dream?
You don't necessarily know, because it's basically going to be it's going to range somewhere in the 1 to 3 range. Getting something bigger than that within your own Oneros is going to be rare. Maybe, probably your daemon. So it's going to be somewhere in that range.
So -6 should do it.
That would give you 4 potency, which would, handle most things in your Oneros.
Okay. And then I can use some more Atratus than I was using. Because you said our place is 3. My soulstone for Atlantean soulstone is 2. High speech is 2.
3.
3?
Yeah, we went over it the last episode too. Yeah, normally using a soulstone is 2. If their gnosis is higher than yours, which the Atlantean soulstone,
I've been using it as 2 this whole time. Okay, so that's 6, and then high speed is 2, or 1, 2, 8.
2. Yep. Okay. So your yantra bonus is just 2.
Yeah. Successes.
Hey, I found all the successes, guys.
Yeah, I did it.
Cool. And I imagine you want a condition?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, 100% this is going to be a condition to handle this Goche.
Mm-hmm.
Where set the scene for me. Where are you doing this summoning at? And I imagine everybody else is here, or the senior members of the cabal are here. Is everybody here, or is it just them?
I mean, anyone who wants to be here. I imagine everyone could be here, because you can all try to help us parse this. And I would have done it in one of our little ritual rooms, basically turn this room into the room in my dream.
Cool. So you summon forth this thing and you make it materialize. And what comes out, sorry, for a second there was I didn't roll paradox. We don't have paradox, we're good. Is this flowing motion of figures. It actually kind of reminds you of that kaleidoscopic effect that you had of your dream, and you watch as kind of like the Animorphs, it's flowing from one figure to another. And so you have this swirling mass of figures, and then you see Zolius talking with someone, and as you have enough time to recognize Zolius talking to someone, you are seeing the figure he was talking to, and then there's just a pair of eyes looking at you. It is very disconcerting because this thing is not following any set of anatomy or anything. You're watching the significant portions of the dream happening and flowing. It is not this full room thing. It is this, larger than person amalgam that is just constantly moving and flowing and doesn't maintain one shape. as it is summoned, it just is going through this motion, and it kind of starts to move closer to you, and then kind of draws back and moves over towards a network, and then draws back and just kind of moving. And it is impossible to read this thing's like expression or emotion or anything. All you can watch is as it moves about the room. And I think very quickly, at least the junior members are like, okay, whoa, hang on. This is not a person that we're talking to. This is a amorphous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Put down an arcane beat for summoning a Goche of a dream.
And
But, yeah.
I make it stop.
How would you like to make it stop? Or actually, let's before that, define what do you mean by stop?
You say it's like constantly shifting, right? And it shifts from Zolius into the person he was talking to, but never like.
It doesn't like stay. And like I said, it goes through the whole thing, even out to like you have that whole like, Little Red Riding Hood, Atratus, and then suddenly big forest scape, and then eyes in the shadows, and then it's kind of back.
When it gets to the point where it's got like the eyes that I felt were looking at me, I want to like pause it so we can look at it.
Okay. And how is Atratus going to try and pause it?
It's a Goche, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this spell doesn't let me control it, does it?
Mm-mm. It's similar to the ghost summons. You can give it like a complex command or a simple command when it shows up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's no other like control outside of that.
They're not a spell to do that though.
You might Goche? Now, actually. Let me double check.
Sure.
Chris, you are muted.
I feel like a mind too, to just like, hey, stop.
Yeah, because I mean, it's Spirit 2 to command a spirit.
Yeah,
so I feel like giving a command exactly to a Goche. Where I was going
with that. Yeah, and specifically because like mine doesn't necessarily give you control over Goche. It lets you summon them, communicate with them, and stuff like that. That's a mind thing. Same thing with ghosts to a degree. Spirit is the thing that lets you command something, and because you have the mind. Slapping on that four mind arcana to a 2-dot spell, which sounds silly, but it's not the only one that does that.
Would make it affect Goche.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is a spirit spell.
The spirit spell.
And it is withstood by its rank.
And I do need to account reach for this because we don't have a spirit spell.
Spirit. Correct.
I need to do it instantly. Let me pull up the actual spell.
It is a potency spell, so you do have 2 potency already.
Mm-hmm. So I only need to increase it by 2.
And the trick to this is probably my favorite spell because of how well balanced it is. Primary factor is potency. You have to bypass their rank, but then you get a number of actions equal to the spell's potency. So every potency that you have past their rank are different actions that you can have them do during the duration of the spell.
Okay, so an instant for reach, or a reach for instant, a reach for duration. Potency spell, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably it.
And then it's just how much potency you want to put into it. Yeah. Yeah, for reach, you're good.
Mm-hmm. I'm overreaching by 1.
Okay. Are you spending any mana?
Yeah, I have plenty of mana at this point.
So, how much?
It's 2.
3, because you're now Gnosis 5.
3. I'll spend 2.
Cool. Ooh.
I lose. Yep.
Roll one more. Okay, so yeah, you just take 1 bashing. Well, sorry, roll your wisdom.
It's lagging so bad.
Friday night on roll 20. I'll email them about us getting a personal private server so that our they will roll their eyes at me. Cool. Okay, yeah, so you take 1 bashing wound, and that's it.
Okay, so let me finish working out this spell. For potency, I need to -4 to increase it by 2.
Right. And that will give you 4 potency. So depending on what its rank is, that may give you 1 or 2 actions. And they can be indefinite or extended actions, so, which I also appreciate. For that being such a short written spell, it is clean and concise. Probably my favorite written spell in the entire freaking book. Yes, I love Teleport as a better spell, but in terms of writing, it is a very good, well written spell. Cool. So 7 minus 4 is 3, plus 8 is 11.
5 successes.
Hey, 5 successes. Do you want to bypass its withstand so you have, or do you want to get your mana back?
I think I want my mana back because I don't.
Okay.
Or no, we'll keep it so I can keep 4 commands for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more useful right now.
Okay. So yeah, spell goes off. You bypass its withstand, so you have all 4 potency to do what you wish.
Yeah. Step 1.
And because you have advanced duration, you have it for a day.
Mm-hmm. I want to pause it on the weird eyes looking at us.
Cool. So yeah, you actually, just wait for it and just, pause or stop, and it just freezes. And it is this, for everybody standing around it is seeing the same image, not necessarily from different angles, literally the same image. And it is, 2 gnarly, kind of classic bestial kind of slant, like almost anime-esque animated creature, eyes peering through past like a bunch of, the front little line of trees, and then just utter darkness as it just watches from the woods at, Little Red Riding Atratus.
Oh, that's really creepy.
Yeah. That.
What are you rolling?
What the fuck is this?
But
lying image.
But
Pierce deception.
Pierce deception. Gotcha.
Just activating Pierce deception.
Yeah, it is not lying about anything. It is what it is. Now, to give you an idea of how to kind of, at least in my head, if you guys have other options or other ideas, feel free to throw them out there. But like, this is like you said, a premonition. This is drawing down symbols and ideas and concepts. So this is going to be something that you may want to study with occult, literally throwing mind or maybe even prime at it to understand. And yeah, if you have other ideas how to study it, let me know.
I have kind of an idea for a spell for this. I just kind of threw dice really fast, but it is somewhere between like interpreting the symbols behind the lying part of Pierce Deception, and then maybe some perfecting level prime magic to like amp up what it is.
Oh, like basically like pulling out and showing the supernal things tied to it.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. Yeah, definitely a 3-dot
like
spell.
That.
Cool. Can it be withstood by anything?
No, I don't think so. Because you're not actually changing anything. You're just making something more known. I don't think it has any withstand.
Okay. Do you want me to have like a potency per symbol or something like that, or?
Yeah, I think that actually makes. No, actually, we'll just do this as a duration spell, because what it's going to do is effectively pull these supernal symbols in effectively high speech, and then it will provide a bonus to interpreting this dream.
Sure, sounds good. I can roll again, or you can.
Yeah, just go ahead and roll again. Mostly because I like the idea of Songbird having this moment of epiphany and going, "Let me try this," and
they just pull it apart.
Sort of. I'm thinking more like, I don't know.
Crack it open like an egg and have the supernal symbol fall out.
Well,
the truth come out.
Yeah, I was more thinking
Surprise, it's the same thing.
Thinking a more sci-fi hologram kind of.
I think Songbird's imago would be talking to someone around a fire, like in camp or in the village, like sitting and telling stories at the fire, and like the shadows that the fire casts behind them growing out into those symbols,
which I think actually kind of works with the Goche imagery. And yeah, dramatically, the eyes kind of take on this new light, and the trees basically cast shadows on the wall, and they do not look like trees at all. They're these shifting supernal high speech symbols. And yeah, like I said, depending on what you guys want to roll, like I said, the thing that came to me was wits plus cult. But if you have some other things, we'll gain a +3 bonus to basically interpreting what this thing is. If you guys have other things to throw at it, feel free.
Teamwork?
I'm rolling.
Yeah.
I have wits and occult, and then the condition to help deal with this.
Sure.
So +2.
And then, yeah, if you guys want to teamwork it up, we can have some.
Sounds like you've got the biggest pool, so I can help out with that some.
Oh, add to mine, yeah?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, good lord.
Or Jesus. Okay.
Nice. I've got, you said +3?
Mm-hmm.
I got 7 dice. That's not bad.
Cool. And I think while you guys are like trying to figure this out, you look over and Network and Rose are deep in like Mage Sight, just studying this stuff.
They forgot to help.
So do
I think they're like
7?
You guys have that. You add 7 to your die pool. Yes.
Okay. And do I also get the +3?
Mm-hmm.
+2 from the condition? This is so many. Okay, so I'm rolling +12. All right.
Sure hope you get it.
You only need 3.
10
successes. I mean, 18 dice, but 10 successes. So yes, if you wish...
I know who that is.
Right.
That's Bill.
Notably, yeah, the thing that you get from this is realizing that the eyes do not symbolize a person, but a threat. Which, like, you're like, yeah, well, no duh. But it is definitely, there is something that you, dramatic, widespread, you have not recognized and seen that is watching your progress. As effectively as Red Riding Hood Atratus, the cabal, is on the path to Grandma's house to do something, and something is watching and following that progress. Don't look
Okay.
too heavily into the rest of the story of Red Riding Hood and like the wolf getting there ahead of time. Just the thing watching and completely oblivious to this thing watching.
Yeah, just that we missed this.
Songbird immediately goes into panic mode about the Archmage.
There was something that was following Zolius. Did he see that with Mage Sight?
Do you mean the thing inside his head?
Or whatever.
Oh, the Grigori. The
Oh, we
Grigori.
would see that, yeah.
Back when men. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it hides in Goche Twilight.
I could see
Atratus
it.
would see it.
Yeah.
Could see it, because like it would be a clash of wills, but
Can I look around and see if we have one?
yeah, I imagine you already had Mage Sight on, and especially since you're like, okay, hang on, I'm really looking for this thing. Go ahead and roll Gnosis plus Mind.
Try to find a concealed thing.
Effectively. We were actually talking about this earlier in Discord. What was
3
it?
success.
Yeah, right. Give me a second here. Pulling up Network's character sheet because scrutiny only takes a handful of seconds. So he's like, oh yeah, hang on, I can help with that. Why does this always save? I'm going to resave this thing actually on the front page. Mind and Gnosis. Throw his whole 4 dice at it.
Hey. He did better
Network
than
getting
me.
them 4 successes
On 4 dice.
So yeah,
I said, goddamn.
So
Network
proud of
like
you.
picks up on Songbird's like freak out and you guys and weird verbalizing the Grigori and kind of joins you and like steps out of the ritual room and kind of looks around. But yeah, a quick look at the place and neither of you find some Grigori floating around.
Yeah. We're not being stalked by one of those. But we are being watched.
It's whoever made them books. Books.
Possible. I really thought they would be dead.
Zolius was unsupervised for a period of time in our sanctum.
No.
Yes? No, I thought we noticed
right when
him
he
walking
walked in.
over.
Yeah,
I mean, for like
we noticed
1
him-
second.
in my head, it was close to like 15 seconds. But that said,
Sure.
like any kind of spell being cast would have triggered your peripheral mage sight.
Your ward.
Sure, but
possibly
dropping something, placing an object.
I mean, if he was
And
scrying on us, that would have also clashed with your wards.
also true. The other thing is, this is like the very supernal thing is this is something you guys have not pegged as a threat yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not something that you are familiar with or watching or thinking about.
We are up against the Panopticon, and they do have eyes literally everywhere.
Yeah, but
And
we're
we
aware
know
of
that-
that.
Correct.
No,
Sure.
but okay, but we know we also know that they have spies in the Concilium. We don't know who they are.
Yes, but what Drew's saying is that this is not that.
Yeah,
This is something we have not been paranoid about.
Right. This is more
Oh,
out of
quick
character.
question. We know that?
We know that.
No,
Well,
what?
We know that somebody claimed they had spies in the Concilium.
That's
We
news
know
to
that
me.
somebody claimed.
Mammon said that when he was on his psychotic break.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Graves said that too, but he might have just been blustering.
Oh, yeah.
he wrote
There
it off
was
at the time.
some early stuff about knowing people and knowing stuff inside the Concilium. Correct. That said, yes, and this is very kind of more meta and out of character, but just that way because your characters would get this. Out of character, this is a threat you guys do not have any
We
connection
have
or
not
information
seen
about.
or thought
Right.
about, yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about like another member of the Panopticon you haven't met.
So it's not something we've missed. It's something
It
we
is
don't
something
know
we've
about.
missed. It's something.
Well, it's something
Yeah.
we don't. It's not something we've overlooked. It's something we don't know about.
I
right?
would go so
Am I
far
reading
as
that
to say, I would go so far as to say you have not overlooked it. Like there's not necessarily like your characters being paranoid and sophisticated mages with 6 and 5 gnosis haven't missed something. It's more that, or haven't overlooked something. You just haven't seen it. Hasn't tagged you,
Mhm.
you know, trooped towards anything like that.
Yeah, this is more of a.
Meta-wise, this is the storyteller introducing a wrinkle and a new threat.
This is a heads up on something that is coming.
Correct.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's worrying.
Like Nako goes, well, I mean, at least we know about it now, right?
And now we know to be worried
Yeah,
about
let me
the
know how
things.
well you
have
sleep
a-
tonight.
Are
Yeah.
you saying we have a known unknown? Is that what you're saying? Lincoln?
It is
Yeah,
a
I
known
mean, right?
unknown.
But we're mages. This is what we're geared for, right?
I mean,
Yes.
you get into
buddy's
paranoia
telling
high
you.
gear.
And Network kind of
But,
leans over and says, what about the rest of the dream?
Do you want to look at it? I mean, the big takeaway I got from it was this thing. If you think there's, I'll play it through. Chris, do you see anything else in here?
What about when they looked at you? The fact that they saw you while in the dream. Dolius and the boss, I guess.
I think this kind of confirms that it wasn't a message. It wasn't them actually communicating. It was sort of a early warning system kind of thing firing off.
Potentially. And so, because Ash, you said to try to let it play and continue over to where they look at you. And on the wall, the shadowy supernal symbols kind of change and shift a little bit, and I'm not even going to have you roll. It's especially once you see their reaction, they're not looking at you, the dreamer. They are two people who are having a conversation and then realize somebody is watching them. Not necessarily you. And then it shifts into the monster in the forest.
So this threat might be more related to them.
Or
I don't think
there's
so.
another entity that we don't know about who's aware of them.
And that part, I'm not even going to have you guys roll. It's a little bit too ambiguous for you to know exactly what.
Cool.
Yeah, they weren't looking at me, Atratus. They were looking at something.
Correct.
Can I get a read on who the boss is? Or is it still just sort of a nebulous bad
because
feel?
Right. It's a nebulous bad feel. The entity itself, like, because it's showing up in your dreams, is more or less being formed from what you know of them, which is a scary Thyrsis.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, to interpret the dream for Atratus a little bit, Dolius and his boss having a conversation, talking, meeting, something, and then realize that they're being watched. And so, again, going back to the whole idea of your dream connecting to the Temedos, this is something that Zolius and his boss have perhaps talked about, the fact that they're realizing that the two of them are being watched. And then it shifts into a big, scary monster that is watching the cabal.
Yes. Okay.
To quote the great Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish.
I cast summon bigger fish.
Yeah.
Okay. We are out of time.
Oh, we are running out of time.
3 minutes. Yeah. But we got some questions and mysteries in front of us, which is what we're built to deal with.
Got a couple answers and a lot more questions. Hell yeah,
Yep.
mage.
That's
Totally mage, right in a nutshell.
Cool. And I'm trying to pull up the schedule, but it doesn't want to pull up real quick. I was double checking to see if somebody was actually after us or not. Which, by the way, Twitch audience, if you haven't been hanging out and watching, I do suggest check out the Onyx Path stuff that has been running basically this summer, especially with the whole COVID stuff. There's a bunch of funky one-off things, including like, I think 2 weeks ago, the VOD is up. I'm hoping it shows up on YouTube soon, of Chaos the RPG.
Oh, yeah.
With Danielle Lazan. I have it saved. I want to watch it, but it's like 3 hours, and I'm just like, I need to actually pay attention to all, like, because I'm hoping, because I've played with actually Craig and I got to play with Danielle, and she's freaking terrific. So I'm hoping that she just rolls with the punches really well, and I want to see it. So I highly suggest that.
Was that the one where everyone was just told to make a character from any system? That's so much fun.
It's fucking terrifying as a DM. Thank you, Death Fox. Yeah, no one's after us. So, was there any last minute things then? Otherwise, we'll save it for next week.
I think that's it.
Cool. All right.
Last minute paranoia.
Hey, it didn't have to be last minute, Miss. Hey, one of the first things I want to do is interpret the dream. I'm like, okay, so that's we're not interpreting the dream. Okay.
To be fair, if you're not paranoid, you're not playing mage right.
Yeah, you're not playing Chronicles of Darkness, right?
Yes. Yeah, it goes much broader than just mage.
Yep. Because let's be honest, even the werewolves get paranoid sometimes. They won't admit it, but even they get paranoid. Thank you guys for joining us. It really is fun. It is very fun to see all these stuff that people are talking about, being like, what is it? What is it? I greatly appreciate it. Come by Discord, yeet into .space, and join the little spoiler chat, Twitch spoilers, and come talk about what you think it is. I may steal your idea if it's better than mine, because it's literally the best thing about this. Spoilers, guys. It's the abyssal table from like episode 4.
No,
the throwback. No, and then
we're finally getting brain spiders.
No. But yes, come by Discord. It is a great place. Come hang out. We'd love to hear about your shows. Well, if you have a show, let us know about it. But no, your games, and hear about some of the other games that our community are involved with. There's like 2 mage games and a werewolf game at this point, plus various people sharing old stories or their D&D games. It's a blast. I love it. And if you want to support us, swing by and do patreon.com/occultistanonymous or staylucky.club. Also, it has been updated now so that you can pay with your European currencies currently. I think it's euro and the pound has been added. So just a couple more options that Patreon is doing just to make it a little bit easier to support and not have to pay weird extra currency charges. I think that's it. Yeah.
Stay lucky.